Good afternoon, this is John Appleby from Bluefin Solutions. I'm going to take you today through a little big data demo with SAP HANA and SAP's Lumira visualization software. I've been recently interested on big data sets that are available freely on the internet. One of the most interesting ones I found is what's called the Integrated Surface Database from NOAA, which comprises 20,000 stations worldwide, of which about 11,000 are active, and has data back to 1901 with about 500 gigabytes of data. You can access that at ftp.ncdc.noaa.gov. You can see the link here, and it contains a document on how the data is formatted. So I went ahead and uploaded that data into SAP HANA, which contains a total of 2.5 billion rows of information, and that takes about 82 gigabytes of RAM. On SAP HANA. This is just a little HANA system I have available. I then loaded that into a HANA data model, and I loaded reference data from really just from the document and from elsewhere on that web archive, and that gives me country and states, and it gives me some kind of reference data which makes sense of the information that we have. So I'm going to go and show you how we can just connect straight into that view we created in SAP HANA. And just want to stress that this data is just loaded straight in. I haven't done anything really to manipulate it. I just changed the fixed format files into CSV files and just loaded it into HANA. There's no aggregates, no indices. I've done nothing to make this any faster. So, and we can see immediately we've got 22 measures and 35 attributes. And I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do geographic enrichments. Because I've loaded the data with country and states, SAP Lumira knows immediately how to map those to countries and states. Because it's US data, unfortunately, we only have reliable state information for the USA and Canada. As a future enhancement to what I have, I'd love to do the latitude and longitudes around the world and have proper geographic information, but I don't have that available to me in this public data set. Anyone that knows where that is, let me know, and I'll load it right in. So I'm just going to check what the average temperature has been since 1901 around the world, just to do some sanity checking on my data. This is aggregating average temperature for every temperature value NOAA ever produced, and 88 degrees centigrade. This is all in centigrade and not Fahrenheit, by the way. 88 degrees sounds wrong. Let's just drill into that. And NOAA provided temperature quality, and you can see that in this case there is a data quality problem on one of those areas. So we're just going to exclude that so that we're not got rubbish. And you can see that that data value is flagged as suspect, so we're going to drop that one out as well. Now that looks kind of sensible. I can believe that an average of 11.8 degrees in all measured, that sounds about right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a chloropleth chart. Chloropleth, I can't pronounce that. And drop in country. So this is aggregating every temperature reading ever made in their database, 2.5 billion, bam. It's pretty quick. And we can see that, surprise, surprise, it's warmer in Brazil than it is in Canada. I wonder where you'd rather live. 1.97 degrees on average, although that does include some pretty, how do you say, cold places in the Arctic Circle. Because my data is predominantly in the US, I'm just going to go ahead and filter into the US now. And you can see immediately it's showing only the US data. and so I'm going to drill now into the regional data for the US. And you can see, by the way, it includes this little island, this little piece of Alaska over there, so it doesn't immediately zoom into the US states for me, so I have to do that myself. And surprise, surprise, it's warmer in Arizona and Texas on average than it is in Florida. By the way, we could see how that varies very easily for, let's say, the month of August, because we know it gets pretty warm in the East Coast in August, so we would expect to see that map change a little bit, and I'm sure it will. It's not a surprise to see that it's actually really warm in Arizona and Texas, but it's still pretty warm all the way up into New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and then it cools off as we head into Maine. Now, Tammy Powless asked me what the variation in temperature over time have been and what global warming looks like. And she lives in Virginia, so I'm going to go and filter into Virginia's data. And apparently Virginia is a jagged set of triangles. I'm going to drop out of the region now because I'm not so interested in that. And I'm going to go into a line chart, and I'm going to graph that by year. Now, remember when I talked about HANA before, I just store a timestamp in my weather. I don't need to store any of the geographical hierarchy that I see there, because HANA generates that geographical hierarchy directly for us as a Gregorian time hierarchy. So I can literally just drop year into my axis there, and it aggregates timestamp into year and does average temperature by year. And Tammy, as you can see, I'm pretty certain that Virginia hasn't really been getting any warmer, although interestingly it does seem to vary year on year. I don't know what the explanation for that. Apparently in 2008 it was much cooler, and I'm wondering whether that has something to do with a cold winter. So I'm just going to chuck in a filter and see maybe there's a reason for that. First of all, let's see whether summers have been getting any warmer. Spring, summer, so Q2. Hang on. I'm filtering, and I'm sorry because of course I'm still filtering by August here. So we're actually looking, and actually summer has not been getting any warmer. On average, it's about 25 degrees. I got to drop that month out now. Deliberate mistake. And we can see that again on average, the temperature it's been about 15 degrees on average. A couple of very cold years, 1996, and a couple of hot years, 1998 and 2012 were pretty hot summers apparently. So I'm just going to drop my quarter into the filter and see whether winters have been getting warmer. Now I know that in Virginia the first quarter is the coldest quarter of the year because February can get a little rough. And we can see again that there's quite a large variance in the end of winter and spring in Virginia. Averages is about 6 by the looks of it, but actually over the last 100 years, 110 years, the temperature hasn't been getting any warmer. So I guess this global warming thing maybe isn't true. I don't know. So anyway, I'm glad you've hopefully enjoyed having a look at this data set within SAP Lumira, and I wish you a good day.